Cool. Well, welcome into the very first Social Media is Dead podcast.
Excited to be here.
So fun. Thanks for coming. This is Noelle, Agenor, and I've already butchered the last name. Agenor.
You said it really
Did I get
closely.
it right? Okay.
Agenor, yeah, you got it.
Cool. And you were just telling me, hang on, I'm too far from my microphone here. You were just telling me that I have the same name as your pops.
You do, which is like the coolest thing. And I remember when we met in 2022, I believe, that's how I remembered you. I'm like, I never meet JTs, so.
I've met, well, there's a JT at Hurrdat, which is kind of funny.
Really?
This podcast studio. Yeah, JT the Brick, I think, or no, that's another radio host. I'm getting him confused with somebody else.
That's
but yeah,
all right.
There's a JT.
I love it. Small world.
Small world. Well, awesome. Noelle, you are the social media manager at Visit Nebraska. Did I get the title right?
Visit Omaha.
Visit Omaha.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No, you're okay.
And we met at the grand opening of Williamsburg Pizza, I think is what it was called, in West Omaha in 2022.
Yep.
And I remember you were talking about just what you guys are doing with Visit Omaha and short form video. It was like, that felt like the very beginning days of short form video.
Right. We were just like little babies back
Yes.
then. Now we're 3 years in.
I
so
know. Reels,
crazy.
like nobody was doing reels.
No. We were
Crazy.
just kind of in the beginning phases. So
Crazy.
let's see the growth.
Tell us about how you got to this day.
Yes. So I was a pandemic grad, unfortunately. So I was down in Florida in 2020. I was working in the design world, planning to stay in South Florida. Obviously, my life got disrupted. So came home, moved back. I was doing some digital marketing, and I was actually in the restaurant business with my dad. And I found out about the job at Visit Omaha through a connection, and it kind of just felt like that right click piece, because for me as a creative, I was so scared of being boxed into one like specific thing, right? Because I kind of had copywriting, photography, videography, all these different things I wanted to do. And I'm like, how can I find a job that's going to tie all these in? Yeah. And social media is just that. So once I applied, it just clicked. It was a perfect position. I think, if you're a person who likes to wear a lot of hats and constantly be on the go, this is like the perfect job for you. So been here for going on 3.5 years now. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So when you thought Omaha that first time, like what was your first thought of like what it's going to be like to represent Omaha and that brand?
It's so much different than I ever expected. So I grew up in Omaha and obviously moved away for a little bit, but you have to reshift your mindset to what do tourists do in Omaha. So I'm a local, I live in West Omaha, but I'm so removed from what happens in the touristy parts of town. I almost had to like reassimilate myself with Omaha. So I think having a part in how people see your hometown is just really meaningful as well, and it feels really special. So
I love that you moved away, you kind of got a different perspective, and then you moved back. Do you feel like there was like and I didn't prep you for this question beforehand, but like, is there that moving back after being away for a couple of years that really shifts your mindset and makes you appreciate Omaha more?
Yeah, Omaha definitely has its perks, and I think I travel a lot. I'm a big traveler, so I go abroad a lot, and I lived in a bigger city. I don't think people appreciate what Omaha is, and they don't appreciate what it has. And that community, you cannot find it anywhere else, I promise you. So Omaha is truly one of one. So.
I totally agree. Like the amenities that you have in Omaha, the restaurants, the like affordability to live in Omaha, and like our airport is blowing up and expanding, and like there's just so many awesome things about Omaha that people don't understand. They're like, okay, to get to the mountains, you have to go a couple hours, but like, how often do you go to the mountains? I don't know. When I lived by the mountains, I went like twice a year, maybe.
Of course.
So I don't know. I'm just
it's the
really
same thing in Florida. I lived at the beach, and I maybe go 2-3 times a year because you live there. Like Omaha has very special offerings, and I think especially right now too, we're in the middle of a lot of big development. I think we're going to continue to see Omaha grow in a lot of positive ways. So. The expansion for this city, I think, is truly endless, and I'm excited to watch it continue to grow. So,
cool. Oh, my gosh. Well, you're playing a big role in that.
Yes.
That's exciting. Okay, so I wanted to talk with you about the What Kind of Traveler Are You program that you guys ran. Now, I was a finalist for the Nebraska Tourism Marketing Campaign of the Year awards that you guys won, and it was so cool to see the economic impact in that. Can you just like unpack that campaign for us? Like, who did you activate for that? What were the results? What were the road bumps? I mean, I know every time that an organization like yours has to work with a creator, there's like 20 touch points at least to get that campaign finished. Like, how'd it go?
Yeah, this was a huge, huge campaign, and this was something that really our entire marketing team was a part of. So it was actually a part of our website redesign, which we launched in 2023. So it's the banner on our website, what type of traveler are you? For us, I think we just wanted to create travel tools that were intentional, inclusive, and also customizable. A lot of people we found through our trends and data forecasting were kind of sick of that like catch-all list of things to do. So we flipped it and asked, what kind of traveler are you? You make people choose, right? Then they can figure out exactly what they want. So we have the 7 persona types. So we have the family fun, active adventurer, we have a foodie fanatic, a history buff, a sports fan, arts and music lover, and we also have a surprise me. So if you kind of want a little bit of everything or you don't have too many expectations, you can get surprised. But that campaign, like you said, was massive. So it lives on our website. It's in digital ads, it's in social media, it's in radio, it's in TV. So it really became the focus of our advertising for that year. And then, like you said, the other part of it was the influencer campaign. So we work with an outside agency to kind of select our influencers, you know, vamp them out a little bit. So our director of marketing, Erin O'Brien, she leads the influencer campaign, and she's done a wonderful job. So last year, we brought, I think it was 4 or 6 influencers in to do each of those personas, and this year we're doing 12. So we doubled it. Whoa. So it's a lot of vetting, I think, with the influencers. Obviously, for us, the biggest thing is, you know, follower count is great nowadays, but we want to know that the content you're putting out is engaging, it's resonating with your audience. And then for us too, each of those influencers we brought in was coming in to bring like a specific persona to life, right? So they had to really resonate with that. So
cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so when you when we target as a city, when we target creators from outside of the state, like what markets do we like to pull from the most?
Yes. So we have our target markets, which are Chicago, Des Moines, Kansas City, Minneapolis, and Sioux Falls right now. So we do tests with our markets. So we'll test out different markets that are nearby, but right now those are the main ones. So each of those influencers will come in from one of those target markets.
Cool.
So,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And like when you reach out to creators, I mean, let's be honest, in this new like decentralized media world, like getting somebody to respond and follow through is hard.
Oh my goodness, yes. And I think that's a huge reason why we use an outside agency and why Erin vouched for that is because they help with so much of the vetting process, you know, making sure people are authentic, their numbers are authentic, which, you know, it can happen, right? And then obviously creating those contracts, that's a huge part of it. And I think the coolest part of the influencer campaign that I noticed is that a lot of our influencers have like a set amount they're gonna post, you know, it's an agreement, but they'll post even more just because they loved Omaha so much or they were so shocked by some of the places that they went. So seeing that extra content go out just because they want to really proves like this isn't them coming to sell, this is them coming and having just a really authentic experience that we can now push out. So
cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I think that a lot of people listening to this show are probably interested in social media. Maybe they've tried to run social media for their business.
Oh, yeah.
They've probably tried reaching out to creators before to help promote their brand. And, you know, I've run brands before in the past where I know how hard it is to reach out to creators.
Yes.
How was that experience working with an agency? How do you think, you know, maybe even smaller businesses that aren't Visit Omaha, like should weigh that, like hire an agency versus like try to DM creators yourself? And like, do you see any, I don't know, perks there to doing it?
For sure. I think it's kind of like a catch-22, I think, right? You never want to tell a small business to overextend themselves and pay $1,000 to bring someone in because you don't know the benefit. But I think where small businesses, specifically in Omaha, can thrive are on micro content creators or a little bit smaller niche audiences. I think in general, I'll call it maybe influencer fatigue is what you're seeing right now from people. So every influencer is telling you what's can't miss or what's the best. Every destination and brand is the best, right? So I think people are going to shift to going to those smaller creators because they're pushing out just a little bit more authentic experiences. Excuse me. So I think that's an avenue where those smaller businesses would maybe see more success with using, you know, an influencer. I don't think it's a bad idea, you know, if you need some buzz right away or for an event or something, there's always value to that. But if you're looking for a little bit more long-term effects, I think that's where, you know, a small business might benefit more. But I also think it's just about how you approach these influencers, right? I think you know, you do this, I do this. I think there is still a little bit of a lack of acceptancy of how serious doing social media is. I think people look at it and they kind of scowl still. I mean, as much as, you know, there's proof that it's a lot more work than you'd think, people still look at it as like, well, you're just coming in and posting. Well, no, it's a little bit more than that. But offering these influencers a package or an incentive, that's going to be worth their time and effort, right? Because they are photographers, videographers, copywriters, content editors. They're putting in work for you. So give them something to come out for, even if it's just, you know, free meal for the night, right? Every restaurant or business can maybe afford that one time. So, yeah.
Cool. I love the way that you say that. Like, I think social media, people have this perception that it's childish. I think that's the number one thing. And
I agree.
Let's be honest, like, a lot of times content creation is very cringe.
Yeah.
There's lots of time there's no honor in trying to, you know, put yourself out there on the internet.
No.
But it is, you know, it's not just social media now. It is media. It's the media, you
100%.
know. And it's, you know, it's going to be interesting, you know, what you said, like that creator fatigue. It's going to be interesting to see where that leads us.
Yes.
We've seen so many goofy things on social media in the past couple of years. Like, are we going to go back to, I don't know, you know, just more traditional channels and thoughts and communication?
Right, a little bit longer form, I think, might be making its way back in. I think the attention spans are coming back. Hopefully, we're working on them again.
Right.
So, yeah, it's what's scary, I think, too, working in it is also just how fast things move, you know, right? When you start to get a grip on something, it shifts. So that's the other side of it. Again, when people look at it and think it's maybe childish, it's a lot of trend forecasting, a lot of research, a lot of planning. So it's a hefty job. But
just your point about research and trend forecasting, like that's what I think a lot of people don't get. They think that it's just kind of like a spray and pray thing. And I've really tried, when I work with people, to really take like an SEO strategy approach. Like, there are keywords that we're trying to win authority over, you know, and you need to make sure you're hammering those keywords every time you post, because if you deviate, you're going to lose it, you know? And I don't know. That's one.
No, precisely. I hear you.
And I hold on to. So our show, it's called Social Media is Dead, because we think that social media, you know, it's shifted from being social to being more of basically a discovery engine, right? So, and we kind of referenced this before, like, it's not social anymore. I think a better name for it is interest media.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
It's what you're interested in, and it's about winning keyword authority in a particular content category. Do you think that resonates with Visit Omaha's strategy?
Oh yeah, 100%. Cool. I think it's just shifting everyone's mind that, like you said, the general function of social media is changing. People are using it as a resource. I think 5, 6, 7 years ago, people weren't booking trips because they saw a really amazing Instagram reel or TikTok. But nowadays, people 100% will book their trip that way. Or, you know, their first resource is social media, and that's it, right? So sometimes people don't even get to the website nowadays. Like, it's hard to get people there. So they want a one-stop shop on social media. And I think even personally, you know, growing up in it, I remember when I started my Instagram, it was to post your fun little cute memories. Now I get on Instagram when I need to know something or I'm looking something up. So I think 100%, it's almost like a search engine essentially. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, so well said. Like, I think that in the next 5 years, like, all commerce is going to end up flowing through social media.
Oh yeah.
Like flights, hotels, restaurants. Like, if you're going to book something, you're going to book it through social.
Right.
Because it's right there and you can just put a call to action right in there. And so I essentially see it as like a theory that I call like the two internets theory. There's like the WordPress internet where people were like working on like Google search optimization. And now there's like the social internet.
That's a great way.
I'm trying to tell all my clients to build in the social internet because there's also conversations there around like the privatization of the internet because we don't own these social channels, but we're just having our fingers crossed, hoping that there's going to be, some good spirit from them to not take our accounts from us or charge us, in 5 years once our accounts blow up. But it's the way it's gonna go.
It is 100%, and I think even on a smaller level, something we've had to really do and something people miss is tailoring to talk to your audience per platform. So we have, you know, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Threads. Each one of those, we can post the same thing, but they're all going to have a different message, and it's going to be delivered differently so that it's optimized for each and every one of those. So I think that's even, you know, a smaller step for people to start changing how they look at social media. So,
man. Once you get into tweaking your message based on the platform, that is a pain in the butt.
It's a lot of writing, I tell
so
you.
much.
I did never expect it to be this much of a writer, but it's a lot. So, and we have a lot of great writers on our team as well who assist with things. And I think what's great about Visit Omaha as a resource is, you know, the content kind of goes in a circle from like our website, blog, events calendar, social media, back, you know, ads. It all works together. So I have a great support network of people on our team who do wonderful work. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I get asked all the time, like, what kind of content works on what platforms? And like, I think that, and I know Visit Omaha doesn't do TikTok, correct?
We don't, no, government
correct.
agency, so.
Totally, yeah.
Yep.
Get that. I think that like TikTok is kind of like thrives on absurdity.
Yes.
And Instagram's more about familiarity. Like people want to like share where their mom went to high school or something that's happening in their region versus, you know, YouTube that feels like more storytelling.
Yes.
And Facebook feels like where your grandma wishes you a happy birthday.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we don't post the same content on all the profiles. It might be the same thing, but it's, again, delivered a little differently.
So much work.
100%. But it's worth it because I think it does pay off in the long run.
Cool.
And, you know, I think, you know, you work in social media. The worst thing is when you open up an Instagram post and you see that, like, copy and pasted link from Facebook, you know, just tweak a little bit, right? That's being able to deliver the information to your customers in a way that is easier for them. It's hassle-free, so, yeah.
Yeah, I am not big enough of a team yet to tweak my content for different platforms.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, man, one day maybe I'll make, you know, really cool long form stuff on YouTube and like all this other, you know, really thoughtful like LinkedIn, like, you know, monologues, but right now it's just like...
It's time, it's effort.
Yeah, I make one asset and it just goes out.
It has
everywhere.
to.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, Instagram people, you're getting the same thing that YouTube gets. You know?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Okay, well, you were talking about just how fast moving social media is, right?
Yes.
Like, how do you balance that like creative storytelling piece between platforms like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, like all those different platforms? Like there's new hooks and new trends and new things happening all the time. What do you do?
Yeah. I think this is a really good question because I think a lot of people struggle with this, but it's tempting, obviously, you know, to not jump on every single trend that you see. But I think a good question to ask yourself is, does this fit with my brand, right? Like, we could rather do 1 out of every 5 trends that really resonates with our audience and they'll understand over hopping on every single trending audio or every single trending dance or skit or whatever's happening on the internet. And I think for me, too, specifically, there's another side of trends, and that's like content style trends. And I think those have a little bit of a longer shelf life, too. So those are a little bit nicer to look at in terms of what type of content you're producing. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, too, you know, each of our audiences is essentially like a mini community to us, right? They follow us because they trust us and they like the way we speak and our information. They're going to be able to tell if it doesn't fit your brand and your voice, right? It'll feel off, you know, if you're partaking in a trend that you just don't need to, just skip it, you know, focus on evergreen content. It's okay. So I think community and consistency will outlast like a viral post any day. So.
Awesome. Can you tell me about I think you called it like new styles?
Yeah, like content styles. Yeah. I think just observing, you know, what type of videos are going out, how are people filming reels? Like, I think, you know, that fast pan side to side has sort of gone away a little bit. We're seeing that like a little bit more drone, like you do really great drone work. Sure. I think people are even bringing professional videography into real work now. So just picking up on like the content trends, even, you know, the wording edits just came out. They have 10,000 new fonts now. So you can kind of reimagine the way your reels are appearing to people. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like the actual like format versus just the trend and whatever trending music is happening. But yes, I get you. That makes sense. You brought up something else. Have you used Instagram Oh shoot, I forgot what the name of their editor
Edits.
was. Edits. Have you used Edits yet?
I actually just used it for the first time today.
Scary.
So, yeah, it is a little scary.
I'm intimidated by a new platform.
I am. I like the intuitiveness of it. I think it works really well with Instagram. At first I was a bit concerned, but you can edit right in the app and it posts straight to Instagram, carries over your audio.
Cool.
It gives you a little area too where you can even look through like trending reels, so you can save templates now, you can save audios right away. So I think for those people who maybe feel like they don't have a lot of time, hop in there, find a template, pop your videos in, and you're off. So yeah, it's a great tool because for me, I don't know about you, but I would edit my video in Premiere Pro, and then I'd export it, and then I'm putting it into Instagram, and then I'm writing text over it. So it's like 3 or 4 different steps. So it kind of makes it a little smaller now for me. So we'll see how it works, but.
Well, you're an early adopter then.
Yes, I was.
You're one of the first.
I was. When they had that app, I was like, sign up.
Good
Put
for
me
you.
on the list.
Okay,
so.
yeah. Like it was right when CapCut got banned, I think is when they announced it. And I signed up because I've been using CapCut religiously.
Right,
so I'm kind of scared of what's going to happen there because we might lose CapCut again.
Yeah, I don't think it has as much functionality as CapCut does from what I never used CapCut personally, but I think they'll develop it over time, hopefully. And it's a good tool if you post on Instagram a lot and you're making a lot of content in Instagram. So, yeah.
The reason that I used CapCut is because hypothetically, TikTok gives you an extra like boost if you use their editing software.
Right. Isn't that the like trick from every platform?
I'm
They
sure.
all say that, but is it actually
Who
true?
knows?
Like
Who
I hear this
knows?
all the time.
Right.
So I felt the same way. I got a little scared to like make my reels outside for a while.
Yes. So I don't know, maybe I'll make my reels and edits and my TikToks in CapCut. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but
it's an interesting like landscape right now.
Yeah.
And I think Instagram has, a good option of like you can leave the audio off. And before if you'd like save an Instagram video from Instagram, you had that little logo
Watermark.
on top. So at least now this is a place where you can get that. I mean, I don't know if you've been there, but I've accidentally posted and not saved. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go remake this now. Like I've had a few of those. So this is a good saving grace for me. So
that would be my worst fear. I don't think I've ever worked on a whole project that has just completely I've had to redo before, but that would be I know. Oh my gosh. Or like one of my other biggest fears is that I post to the wrong client's account.
Oh, I've done it.
Have you done it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Well,
like
off record, but
okay.
you catch it and you delete it right away.
Yeah.
So.
Don't let your boss see it really quick. Yeah, take it off.
Right. I think that's like every social media manager's worst nightmare.
Oh gosh.
So.
Oh my gosh. I posted like I shouldn't be saying this because they'll probably be listening to this podcast, but I posted like a chiropractor video on like a real estate client, and it was just very confusing for everyone involved.
It's like 5 minutes in, and the likes aren't matching. The comments are like, "Huh?" I'm like, wait, what?
Luckily, they caught it real quick, but we've been there
to the best of us.
And I feel like that is like a big part of social media is just being like, you know what? The frequency with which you have to post and the length of the projects have just shortened down so drastically that you have to be okay with making mistakes and imperfection and embrace that.
Yes, you do.
Like just last night, I posted a video. I have a client who their English isn't very great, and they said something, and in the caption, I included what they had misspoken. It was like they made like homes, like it was like plural instead of singular, like not a big deal at all. But they were just distraught, and I feel really bad because they are self-conscious about not being strong in English, and I totally get that. And so I just encourage them that like, hey, like people actually like to see you vulnerable, and they like to see you make mistakes and be a real human. Like, don't worry about making this glossy Instagram video. Like, it's okay.
I think that word vulnerability is one of the most important things when being a content creator and a social media person, especially nowadays. No one wants to follow just a dead, empty brand, right? So they want that soul, that personality. Yeah, don't do this job if you're not afraid of like messing up or fixing stuff on the fly, because you have to be quite flexible. So lots of errors and mistakes. But again, like you said, trends and things move so fast. It's almost like you're kind of convincing people out of something that's natural, right? Like we slow down, we take our time, evaluate, look at it 10 times. I'm like, and for me, I don't know if it's happened to you, sometimes the content you work the least on is what does the best. Something you throw together and put out does 10 times better than something you're painstakingly looking over, rewatching 100 times. So, which can be frustrating, but you take your wins where you get them. So
100%. Yeah, it's a weird shift from where we used to be, where everything was so buttoned up and polished.
Yes. I mean, even graphics, right? We saw like complete decline of graphics within 2 years on social media. I mean, nowadays, most people would be advised not to post a graphic unless you're maybe a data or science brand. So
yeah. Yes, 100%. Okay, what is one trend in social media that you're really excited about right now, and one that you're not super hot on?
Yes. So I think one I love is just themed itineraries in any form right now. Cool. So I've seen a couple of tourism destinations do like a travel like your zodiac sign, or if a big artist is coming through town, like here's your Taylor Swift era vacation for this weekend. So things that are themed, I think they can be reused. They still hit, with your brand, they fit your voice, but they're fun. They're edgy, a little bit something different for people. So
I love that. I actually, just this past weekend, I went to the Berkshire Hathaway.
Yes,
thing.
I saw your video.
Yes,
that was great.
It was so fun. I actually did a little pilgrimage because I wanted to like capture the energy of like what it's like on that weekend, and all of the Berkshire Hathaway businesses were just slammed and just buzzing with people from out of town, like new voices and cultures and just all kinds of things. And it was just cool to see, and the video did well, which was nice too.
Yeah,
so,
and that event is such a great example of just a side of tourism maybe people don't see. You hear Berkshire's here every year, but what is it? So your video, I actually showed it to my whole staff, did a great job of just really showing people what that experience is like for an attendee. So
and like when we talk about like just the keyword authority, like going after those hot keywords, I'm always trying to like get my clients to look for the hot keywords and the low-hanging keywords.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So,
but I don't know, a trend I would get rid of maybe. I don't think there's any trends I hate. I feel like they cycle out so fast now. By the time you hate it, it's gone. But I think any form of like engagement baiting content or making it really hard to find the information that people want, I'm so sick of. Like, scroll through the comments to find, and then it's telling you to go somewhere else, and then you go somewhere else. So at the end of the day, your audience is going to get frustrated, right? They're not going to trust you. They're not going to feel like you're here for them. So I hope that engagement bait goes away. There's a difference between a hook, you have great hooks on your reels, and baiting someone to search through your profile for 10 years. So
yes, okay, yeah, well said. Yeah, I've definitely seen some of those, and I mean, it's also tempting as a creator. It's like, how do you not just do engagement bait stuff, and what's the word? Where you make something feel bigger than it is, sensationalize things, and because especially like when I'm doing Nebraska stuff, like I think Nebraska is the coolest place in the whole world, and so I want to sensationalize it. But to other people sometimes, or especially like residents of the area, they're like, okay, like relax on this video that makes Potter, Nebraska look like New York City. But
I think that's what makes your content so special, is that what we are doing is literally visual storytelling. So, it does have to be a little bit larger in life to convince people to do it. And I think I actually heard this at a conference a couple years ago, how locals can be sometimes your biggest hater and your hardest person to convince that something is worth it. So it is really hard to get sometimes our local Omahans to buy into those maybe smaller towns or niche cool experiences. So I think you do a good job of it, and I think it's really well presented. And that's essentially what we're all trying to do, right? Is tell a story of why someone should come visit a place. So
my gosh, thank you. So well said. And like I do definitely in the comments have like people who have this like love-hate dichotomy like for Nebraska, and a lot of people, I think that it's kind of a I don't know, like kind of a joke, that when people hate on Omaha or Nebraska or something, like I think it's just fun to kind of like be self-deprecating. But I think that deep down, the people who are the biggest haters, like I think they love it.
They do. They truly do. 100%. They just can't hate that other people are loving it too.
Yes.
They think it's like their thing. They don't want it to get out.
Exactly.
I hear you.
Exactly. Okay, so I am working with I work with like different small towns in Nebraska. So specifically like other people who are trying to make an impact on tourism in their community. Maybe they're smaller than Omaha, or you know, maybe they're the same size as Omaha. What's one piece of advice that you'd offer to help them stand out in today's digital landscape?
Yes. I think we talked about it earlier with viral posts a little bit, and maybe it's twofold, but I think just think beyond virality. I think consistency is going to build you trust in an audience who's actually going to give you measurable and deliverable results over just trying to make that viral video every time. So, and I think too, on the flip side, is just to invest in social media and marketing. I think, like you said earlier, social media is the forefront of marketing and media for a lot of these businesses. I think it's the first place people are going when they're looking to plan a trip or looking for a place. So put value in that, place value in it, put effort in it, believe in that value. So everything you can put behind social media, please do. I want all of our social media managers to be uplifted. But
And I guess you and I are both in the industry, so our answer is always going to be invest. But like, it's just so true. Like,
the money's not always there. I mean, the fun side for me of, you know, doing this job is, you know, we are very privileged and have great resources, but I have worked in a small business. I've owned a small business in Omaha. I understand how hard it is sometimes to set that aside and invest in it. So
100%. The thing that you said about small towns, or not small towns, but towns who they might not go for consistency, they're going for virality in a short time. I feel like that really spoke to me, because it feels like everyone that I talk to, they have like 2 really good ideas for viral videos that they're gonna do. And it's like, okay, well, what format are you gonna use? And is it repeatable? And is it scalable? And, you know, so trying to talk people away from that, like, one viral swing that they're going to take one weekend and then totally forget about the channel, and move them towards like, hey, let's build something. And when I work with smaller towns in Nebraska, the number one thing that I say is you just need to like be in the game. Like, all that you need is like an optimized feed with like 6 to 9 reels that just show what your town is. Because hey, guess what? Creators like me or other creators, that we're going to come through, and you know, we're going to drive potentially millions of eyeballs to your little community. You want to just be ready for us to invite you as a collaborator to that asset, and then let us send traffic to your account so people can see what you're all about. You know, when I look at the, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on what the name of the town is now, that they just did that $50,000 down towards a new house. Have you seen that?
I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the name
now. Article, but I don't know the time either.
Oh my gosh, I literally just talked to their DED director like this week. So
it's kind of like that $1 Italy house thing. I was like, maybe.
Mega viral campaign, right?
So smart.
So smart, but like, you know, millennials especially. I'm a millennial. Like when we do our discovery, we want to scroll some reels of this place if we're gonna live there, and like having like 6 to 9 reels that are just like, here's what date night could look like here. Here's what churches are like, or whatever you're interested in. You know, here's like shopping or something like that, or here's the lake that we have. Like, 100%. I feel like that could go a long way.
Oh yeah, and I think, you know, we talked about it earlier a little bit, but that's an area where I think micro and like macro creators can really come in. Micro creators, I think, as they're trying to build their audience, you know, they're a little bit more willing to work with smaller destinations. They're a little bit more laxed on what they require. So using them and for each other, I think, is always such a good, perfect fit. So
totally. Yes, totally. And yeah, like there's going to be a wave of creators kind of coming through in the next couple of years, because you know, we're just at the tip of this thing. So like, I agree. Build your community to a place where you don't have to be the biggest show in town, creator-wise. No. Just set up an infrastructure so that other creators can come in and point people towards your content.
Right. So. And I think you said it, you know, having those little build-outs of what can you do is just telling the story of your place, right? Like, everyone wants to see themselves in that story. So you got to show it to people.
Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, I'm doing a project with the DED where I'm helping small towns kind of get their feet under them with social media. So that's
a wonderful idea.
Yeah, that's near and dear to my heart. And like what you guys do is such an inspiration, and
thank you.
So cool to see. Like, I can't think of how many ideas I haven't, you know, got from Visit Omaha just watching your guys' stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and ditto. So
definitely. Well, thanks. I think that's all the time that we have for us. So thanks. You were the first episode. I think it went pretty good.
This is great. I had a fun time. Yes. This was awesome.
You were great. You were so awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.
You too.